full circle moment.
That's right.
I'm super excited for this. So kick us off. For anyone that's been living under a rock for the last 5 years, tell us about Funnel, tell us what Funnel does, and then we'll go into your new release.
Yeah, well, anybody who wouldn't know, it's the previous CRO's fault, me and you. Funnel is renter management software, as we call it, and that we say that intentionally to be differentiated from property management software. Most of our customers utilize us as a lead management tool initially, expand into a full-blown CRM, so both lead and resident management. We do conversational AI, is our second most popular product, and then several of our new partners also utilize us for application screening, lease signing, and the resident portal. So a full-blown customer lifecycle tool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You have a wide product offering, and I feel like every trade show you're amazing at launching new products. I just caught wind of a big new release, generative AI. Tell us about the new release, tell the audience about the new release.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, so as you know, we have been in the AI space since 2019, but obviously all of us that play in AI are excited to leverage the generative ability. So the first and most obvious example that our partners are excited about, every AI tool, what makes them exciting is that they are not deterministic. They don't give it one specific answer. That also makes them aggravating because in customer service and in software, we expect when you click the button, it does the thing. And so generative AI holds a lot more promise to be more human, be more conversational. And so our partners, we had several partners, including Continental, Kane, that piloted some of this newer generative technology. And what they found is it's much better at getting to the answer, having the right tone, answering multiple questions in one. And so that was a big change for us. We had built our own model. We had data scientists on staff between 2019 and 2023. We still have those teams, but now those teams are focused on taking advantage of the work that OpenAI and Google and the best minds in the world are doing. That's the low-hanging fruit, was better conversational AI.
Yeah.
The other piece of our generative AI was that Funnel, as there's a lot of great AI companies here, and all of them add a ton of value by being responsive and conversational. What is different about Funnel is, as a CRM, is that it is not binary, it's not on or off. Once the AI finishes the conversation, it can continue to assist. So our generative technology, we're also utilizing it for things like call summaries, taking a 20-minute call, summarizing it into a short blurb about that call. Also, when the conversation moves to the human agent, we still use generative technology to suggest a response. So somebody's asking you a question about the renewal policy, and maybe you don't want AI handling that yet. You still could have the human agent have an AI generated response that they can edit. So
that's post handoff, right? So you've gone AI to human, and then you're still making recommendations to the human to help their workload.
Yeah, and we also, one of the big changes we made is we used to do, to your point, the handoff was the key. We've always felt at Funnel the handoff from AI agent, or AI assistant to the human agent was critical. Our partners really started to trust the AI more and more, and so they can be turned back on and handed back to the virtual agent. But you're right, in that time period in which it's agent assisted, human agent, and I'm responsible to do that, I still want the AI assisting me. I still want it making prompts, I want it summarizing, not just going away.
Yeah.
And that is, for us, the reason we did the press release is it's a big differentiator versus an outside virtual agent that is on or off, and Funnel's virtual agent that's with you, both the initial lead, it's working when you're working the lead, and then it'll turn back on and take back over if you wanted to.
Having spent some time with you are very deliberate with your wording. Like your product marketing especially is like on point.
Yeah.
And I picked up on this difference between virtual assistant and virtual agent.
Right.
So is that the main differentiator?
Yeah, you're a great marketer. Yeah, it is, and it's very intentional. Now, agent is not the wrong word per se, but assistant we think is more descriptive to Funnel's value proposition.
Yeah.
One of the things that we hear, I love to go visit sites, I love talking to leasing associates, and one of the things that was surprising to me is, generally speaking, leasing associates like AI. They like working with it. But it was not uncommon to hear almost adversarial relationship with the virtual agent, and there's a couple reasons for that. So if I have an AI agent that is created in my CRM as its own agent, I can't work the leads when it's working it. We all know, you and I are salespeople. If somebody told me I can't work a lead in my CRM, how would I feel about that, right? Like, there's a bunch of, you guys are crushing it, and I've seen people coming up to talk to you. If I was like, don't talk to them, the AI has it, man. You can't work it.
Back off.
Yeah, you'd be like, well, turn that damn thing off, right? And so that is the difference with an assistant and an agent that you're brokering. We think those are valuable tools. We think it's far more valuable if I can take over when I want, I can work the lead, I can turn it back on. And again, in particular, find other ways to help me. So, we're sitting with this sign here, hidden spend in AI. That's just the beginning of what you can do, right? As a leasing agent myself, as a sales agent, I want you to automate the mundane, right? And let me do the high value work. And that's very different than what agents are. And there's a huge place for agents. And I think the word agent will probably better describe, Ben, I think the next version of AI. Yeah. So right now, the low-hanging fruit in AI that lots of companies are going after, us included, is conversational, where you're really asking the computer to go find the answer to this question they're asking. It's not very good at doing the job yet. So let's just use an example. One of the really cool things Funnel now offers, and a lot of AI companies offer, is rent reminders. Sometimes we call them collections, but it's really reminding someone to pay their rent. Here's your balance. Well, if the person says, "Great, I want to pay my rent," we send them a link, right? We don't actually facilitate an agent-led payment. But if it was a human, right, when I'm interacting with Delta, they could take my payment over the phone when I'm talking to them. And the next version of agents and where AI and the generative AI is going is actually taking AI and then having it do the job. And so we do think we're getting closer to a world in which there will be some tasks that the AI agents will genuinely replace having to be done by human agents. But what is used today as conversational AI, Funnel thinks that the AI assistant is to your point, much more intentional description of what we do.
So AI and centralization have been the buzzwords for the last number of years. I think centralization we're a lot clearer on now than we were.
Agreed.
AI specifically, we've almost seen a commoditization of AI, right? Yeah. You mentioned there's a proliferation of providers that are now offering leasing AI. And I feel like leasing AI was one of the earlier applications, right? We're starting to see a lot more applications throughout, kind of back office and other applications. With the commoditization, what is Funnel's stance on that? Like, how do you differentiate?
That's a really good question. And, if you were to take a pessimistic view, we've had video technology conferencing forever, right? But in COVID, obviously, Zoom boomed and was the most popular company, and the stock was the highest trading on NASDAQ. If you look at Zoom today, it's the lowest trading. And it's not that Zoom got worse, the value proposition was different, but the value accreted to the platforms because video conferencing technology is not proprietary. It is, luckily for all of us, it's easily accessible, right? And anybody can use it. The wonderful thing about AI is that unlike previous iterations of really disruptive technology, like I was talking with head of technology at a large firm this morning about the move from on-prem servers to cloud servers. That took a long time. I mean, you and I probably came into the industry, people had servers in closets still, right, in their offices. And it took a good 5 to 10 years to make that transition. And in that sort of a world, multifamily earned its legacy of being kind of, oh, we're slow, we're behind the times. AI is not the case. The best-in-class technology that's being developed with billions of dollars right now, in Silicon Valley, is available to all of us months later. And so the competitive moat for companies like Funnel that sell conversational AI is not the conversational AI. Because, every startup here, and there's lots of wonderful ones, have access to the same API endpoints. And so our point of view is that we have always been a renter-centric property or renter management software. And so our CRM, and this has been a strategic decision, as you're aware, we to date have not sold a standalone AI product. And it's not that we don't think there's a place for it. There's absolutely a place for that and a great use case. And like you said, it's kind of the peanut butter and jelly of centralization plus automation. But we've always believed that in the long term, this is a people industry. I saw a slide on a pitch deck from a competitive AI company that said, we do 90% of the work. And it made my soul hurt. I was like, hell no, you don't. Like, these people in our industry do the work. We're helping them do the work. And so our value proposition has always been help the associates do their job best by assisting them with AI. And in the long run, that's, as we all know, the whole value proposition for Revised is get a sense of your spend, right? Get a sense of what tools are you using. And so the bundle of CRM plus AI, we think in the long run, whether we ever make a ton of money on AI or it's a commodity, to us, we're agnostic to, right? But we do know that it's going to be crucial for our team members. And then last thing I would say is, there's a lot we don't know yet. The chairman of OpenAI, who formerly was the CEO of Salesforce, just started a conversational agent company that could work in any vertical. And what we don't know is, you and I, there's a reason why the companies like you were at with G5, multifamily specific websites had a place, Funnel, instead of Salesforce. Is that true of AI? Do we need real estate only AI solutions, or will we see non-industry best-in-class solutions come into the industry? And it's something that obviously for Funnel, again, we're going to be agnostic to, because centralization can happen in a lot of ways, and it'll be a fun time for sure.
You all, shifting gears a tiny bit, so you're all sitting on some amazing data. I spent a lot of time reading reports while I was there thinking, dang, if people had their hands on this, like it's crazy valuable. The first part to really leveraging AI is clean data, which you're sitting on, right? You're sitting on a gold mine. So where does Funnel see AI going from here? Like, how do you mine some of those insights that you're sitting on for operators?
I've never been interviewed by somebody who knows so much about the business, but it helps you be an even better interviewer than you already are. You're right, and candidly, I would say today it's a weakness for Funnel because we've been so focused on the business transformation. I think that's your phrase.
Yeah.
The business transformation from property-centric operations to renter-centric. As we've become the default CRM for folks like Essex, Camden, Cortland, but newer large third-party managers. That is the next question they all ask is, okay, well now we're seeing a full picture of my renter. I'm seeing them multi-touch attribution. I'm seeing them start, inquire at one property, lease at another. I'm seeing them release at another property.
Yeah.
The data picture there is compelling, right? And so you're absolutely correct that that's a frontier we're going to have to go down. So we've done some experimentation at Funnel. We have a few partners that are beta testing what we call Funnel Insights, which is basically taking off-the-shelf AI tools and running the data against it and saying, what does it tell us? And what's interesting, Ben, is that this won't surprise you, but for those who aren't as familiar, naturally where the questions go to from our operational partners is staffing. Right? They want to better understand, because there's so much to the customer journey that we have a decent sense for, and at the end of the day, did they pay their rent? What is my occupancy? We're very fortunate to be in an industry where we're talking about 96% of people are leased up all the way, 90% of renters are paying their rent on time. Those metrics are good. The big thing that's changing is the staffing, and how I staff and the ratios and when I staff. And so a lot of our insights questions that we're asking ourselves and that we're being asked is around call volume times, right? And about lead inbound times and responsiveness times. And the fun thing is in a world of centralization, those AI insights, even just the beginning beta version of it, have helped our partners to think differently, right? Well, you know what? We get an overwhelming number of questions around the move-in process. And who's answering that? Right? Is it assistant community managers? Is it a specialized team offsite? They're moving ambassadors. When are those questions coming in? Maybe they're for whatever reason, they're not on Tuesday. I don't know why, but people, it's like Saturday night, right? And usually the leasing office is closed then. So I think those AI-driven insights that, to your point, were really impossible to pull out before because the information either was A, siloed into property-centric data sets, or B, extrapolating, and you mentioned the gold mine, Funnel sees for a partner like Cortland, every single interaction. If it's a phone call, we transcribe it. If it's text, we write it down, email, chat, etc. Everything other than, I guess, the in-person agent experience, although there's AI for that. Taking that, transcribing it, would be impossible for anyone human to extrapolate real insights. It'd all be anecdotal. But now you can run that against these AI systems and you could actually say, hey, you know what? The tools here are telling us that this is a problem. And the last thing I'll say there is we are taking an agnostic approach there as well, that I think that there's a lot Funnel can give to our partners. There's also a lot of really cool companies here. Like I'm very interested in meeting with other vendors that are trying to solve just that problem. They don't have the data per se. But like to give an example of two, to not be overly biased, there's an RET one, Traftis. Traftis does this very well. A lot of our partners love doing that with them. There's a startup called Surface AI, right? That's well funded. And I think that will be one of the frontiers that will become table stakes. I think those companies are going to be challenged to go direct to the consumer, at least for the broader part of the market. And so we think there's an opportunity for Funnel to, either build, buy, or partner to bring that value to, our large customer set.
Tyler, do you start changing some of the metrics that multifamily look at? Like we talked a lot about SaaS metrics, like CAC to LTV.
Right.
LTV's been something that you've never been able to measure because of the property-based data sets,
Correct.
right? So is there a way that you can start measuring quality of lease and lifetime value of lease?
Yeah, you absolutely can. And I think the first answer, though, is it won't happen quickly because the industry still runs as an asset management, it's an asset class. And, my dad is an asset manager and I always run these ideas by him and he's like, nope, this is what matters. That doesn't matter. But there's other trends that will eventually make that so it isn't critically important. And the metrics we use today, to go back to my point about like occupancy, Like there's so many metrics that funnel spits out that nobody looks at.
Yeah.
Like, they're all demanding their cost per lead report. And it's like, and same with like, A/B testing on certain marketing campaigns. It's great. And I understand there's a place for it, but what actually moves the needle, right? To your point, like if you're a software organization, those smaller metrics are just a function of, do you know the big metrics? How much does it cost to get a client? How long do they stay with you? And we don't look at that today. I think the trends that we're seeing, these mega managers that have come into multifamily and all the aggregation and then the data proliferating, it is going to change, and brands entering the fray. So I think we will absolutely see it, but I don't think that's going to be like next year's OpTech that all of a sudden people are clamoring for LTV reporting.
Yeah.
But I would love to see it. I'd love to see us take a first principles approach to what actually moves the needle.
Yeah.
And there's so much low-hanging fruit there.
I love it. Tell the audience where they can learn more about the new generative AI release. I just watched a really cool video.
Yeah. Caleb, yeah. Yeah, so check out funnelleasing.com. And if you are a funnel customer, you can get upgraded now. So reach out to your sales rep to have that happen. If you are interested in our new generative AI, we actually on funnelleasing.com do demos of all the products. So
Nice.
Vendors as well, you can check it out, see what's going on there. And I'm Tyler at Funnel Leasing. So anybody can reach out to me as well.
Amazing. Tyler, thank you for joining us.
Awesome, man. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.